All right, so in the last segment, I began to speak on the different problems that we have in sober living and in the road to becoming sober. And this has been a topic that this has been a topic that this is the foundation of me wanting to do a podcast. And I keep saying wanting, that I'm doing. The reason why I'm doing a podcast is because this is a real life thing. You know, this whole thing that we call addiction, and this whole thing that we call recovery. So there are some components that goes with it. Now I want to go here to my little hefty defty notebook, and I want to look up the steps to sobriety. This is off of the internet, y'all. Now, this is the steps to sobriety that comes up on the internet. If you was to research this for yourself, it says steps to sobriety include accepting the need for change and seeking professional help and support, building a strong support network and avoiding old habits and toxic relationships, developing coping mechanisms and healthy habits, and identifying and addressing triggers, embracing a new lifestyle and finding purpose, and prioritizing self-care. And the last one they have on here is maintaining sobriety for life and being aware of relapse signs. So let's unpack this right here. This is good stuff. Step one that comes from, I went on Bing here, people. If y'all want to, you Bing this yourself, okay? Step one states accepting the need for change and seeking professional help and support. And so this is a 2-round situation here. First, I have to accept. And y'all don't know much about me, but I'm one that y'all gonna get to know me. I have to know it all from the rooter to the tutor. So let's look up the definition of acceptance. The definition of acceptance: the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered. The second definition is the action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group. 3, agreement with or belief in an idea, opinion, or explanation. So that's acceptance right there, right? So if we was to read that story out, we would say that one of the steps to sobriety would be acting on your consent to receive or undertake something offered. It's a process to it, and it's an agreement. Okay, so now the reason why knowing exactly what you're saying matters is because when we go into these places, okay, when we go to these where it says seeking professional help and support, now comes the question of where am I going to get this help? How am I going to get this support? So you have places, and I'm not going to drop names on here just yet. I'm not up there just yet, and I'm not trying to get torn down too quick. But I might have to I might have to get a little rowdy and name some of these entities who are attempting to help us addicts. But they have their faults of their own. But some of these faults can be very, very detrimental to... I'm here. That's one part of it. They check on you every hour, guys, to make sure you're still living. And yes, there are situations where they come in rooms and people are dead. So, back to what I was talking about. These entities have problems within themselves. And unfortunately, in this situation, it ends up in a person dying, being in an institute, or being institutionalized. And by that, I mean being put in jail, being put in a box, or being put behind in an institution like what I'm in, which is a sober living facility. Now, hopefully, my plans is to continue to be in sober living for the next 2 years. Me as an addict, I'm sorry, I just... I have accepted the need, guys. I have accepted the need for change. And trying to change, I'm 35 years old, trying to change 15 years of use in just 30 days, I'm sorry, that's not enough for me. Insurance companies, that is not enough. That is not enough. Now, there are your few who that's all they needed, but that is not your majority. And the majority is the problem. Why? Because if there is a majority of people over here and they are and then we want to go and use the word society, so then now you're saying the majority of this society has been failed. And this is the part where more deaths and more institutionalization actually comes up. So what I'm addressing, what my attempt is for, and what it's about, is bringing to light all of these steps that are required in fixing, in mending our community and our society and molding a better one, creating a better society. One that I hope my nieces and nephews can grow up in and thrive. That they can pass down on to their children and their children's children. Because these are the people who I care about. I can sit there and lie to you and say I've cared about myself all my life. And that's the reason why I'm in recovery. No. I'm in recovery because I did not care about myself and I did not care about my life. And it was not until my mother came up to me and she said, baby, when she got cancer, I'm getting my affairs in order. And you know what I need you to do? I need you to get your affairs in order, because the life that you're living is going to take you the exact same place that I'm going, which is to the grave. If this thing kills me, because baby, you are allowing it to kill you. So there's a maybe for my death, but I know that there's a certainty for your death. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get your burial and your plot together now, so that I can at least be able to cry in peace and more in peace, and I don't have to stop and sign papers and answer questions. We know what happened. We plan for it. You plan for it because you didn't stop doing what you was doing. And so I reach out. I accept the fact that I need to change, that I need professional help. Now, what happens when our professional help needs professional help? So the second one is building a strong support network and avoiding old habits and toxic relationships. So, building the action of building. Sorry guys, I want to get you a good definition here of building. A building, this says, this is cute. A building is a structure that has a roof and walls and stands more or less permanently in one place. All right. A building is a structure that has a roof and walls and stands more or less permanently in one place. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, coming to the end of this particular segment, and I'm of course going to go into the other segment. I just need to get some more notes together, but let's just unpack this one part, and we're just on the second step here, people. But we are going to get through this together. We are talking about the steps to sobriety. Building. So in building, you want a strong support network. All right. Let's think about that strong support network as the roof and the walls. All right. And we want to think about avoiding old habits and toxic relationships by building a good foundation. Because even if things go on around that foundation, because that foundation is so strong and those walls are put in place and that roof is built good and sturdy, here you are, the addict inside of this building. Even though those old habits will come knocking, just like a storm may come to a house, if it is sturdy enough, it will not collapse. So that is the reason why you want to build a strong support network and avoid old habits and toxic relationships. We have to remember that these definitions are put in place, the steps to sobriety, because we are battling something that is offending our very nature, and that is to survive. That is to have community. And one thing that addiction does is it isolates you not only from yourself mentally, but it isolates the world from the gifts that your higher being has placed in you, giving you purpose. We all have a purpose. These professionals, with their help and their support, that is the equivalency of a form of purpose. And I really do believe this, that the people in recovery are the strongest buildings for the addict. I do believe that. That is nothing to say against people who have went to school and they studied and they've never been through addiction. That's not to weaken their purpose. Their purpose is their purpose. I'm not out here pointing and saying, you not this and you not. No, that's not my tip. My tip here, my gist here is to get to this one very, very foundational thing, okay? We need to look at what we're doing. We need to look at what we're doing. Professionals, that goes for you. Addicts, that goes for you. Support system, that goes for you. We need to actually look at what we're doing and stop taking this as a casual, it's just another addict, it's just another day, it's just another. We need to start looking at it like it's our last day. It's our last piece of support. It's our last chance. Because in the addiction world and to the addict, all we have is today. That's it. One day at a time. That's all we have is just today. Our lives and our lifestyle is so fragile that all we have is just today. I'll be speaking to y'all, coming up to y'all my next segment, going through the rest of the steps to sobriety. I love you all. I wish you peace, love, happiness. I wish you sobriety. I wish you wisdom, strength, and courage. God bless. Mwah.